Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Okay, after watching that movie, The Order, seeing a cop drama based on true story thing, I'm gonna review this show that we watched called Say Nothing, about also based on a true story, mainly focusing around this woman. How do I say her name in Irish? Doris, Dulles. I think it's like Dolores or some shit, but they say it like Dulles. This Dulles woman, and which was a real person. She married an actor I knew of. I was like surprised at the end. I'm like, wait a minute, that's fucking Stephen Ray or Rhea, however you fuck you say his name, the fucking cop from V for Vendetta. I was like, holy shit. I was like blown away. I was like, holy fuck, that guy. He married an IRA, fucking ex-IRA member and shit. That's crazy.
He's a wild boy.
He's out here living, bro. God damn. But yeah, it's kind of her journey through the IRA, and you see some of her family and her past, as far as like her parents' involvement in it, and her relatives, her aunt, and then her, entangling herself in that, while initially starting off to try to be like a peace activist. That was actually one of my problems with the show, is that they showed her doing like peace activism, like nonviolent, peaceful activism for like 5 minutes, and then they're like, nope, all right, let's join the IRA, start bombing people, start killing people. We're with it. But yeah, in comparison to this The Order movie, the Jude Law movie, this is a lot more sophisticated in my opinion. Now, once again, a documentary will always do you better, I think, when it comes to real life events or whatever. But sometimes, cinematically, they can do a good job on the film side of things. And I don't get hit over the head with openly propagandistic shit. Right? The show was kind of showing like, oh no, they're like righteous in a way, but they're also wrong in a way because they harm people too. Right? You can even see the effects on Dulles, on her.
Yeah.
Like the her conscience weighing on her and shit like that, as well as how shitty these people were being treated. Thus, you can understand why they're doing it. I understand why they're doing this. I'm not saying it's the right way to go about it, but you can understand why they're doing it.
They did try to flesh out the motivations
Yes,
as much as they could.
like they weren't just scary monsters, but they also weren't just innocent children either.
Even the Jerry character, they were showing they were showing like some, I wouldn't say growth, but a what's it called, like a arc change based on like certain material circumstances.
Well, I think the show was outright like, yo, fuck that guy. Like, we're, like, in their mind, I think as the filmmakers, in their minds, they're like, yo, we're exposing this fucking Jerry Adams guy.
Yeah,
We're exposing him because he was one of the leaders of the IRA, and then he turncoated, right? And got a parliament fucking job or wherever the fuck, then started turning on them and shit like that. And they were like, yo, fuck this guy. And at the end of every episode, they're like, Jerry Adams, to this day, does not admit to being a part of the IRA or...
They're showing him like, so like in The Order, they're like they kind of hint, they very like lazily hinted at like a sort of hierarchical philosophical um strategy on what they want it to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whereas in the show, they did that with this Jerry character, where this Jerry character is making decisions in for the entire group. That like in they did show one that whole where he got arrested. He's like, I'm not Jerry Adams, all that shit. They did show that, but short of that, like he was kind of detached from the repercussions. of the decisions he was making for the entire organization.
Well, I think when he got arrested, I think that was the moment when the show didn't say it, but they were
Yeah.
they were implying like that's when he turned. Like he got a
Yeah.
deal, or like because just like I don't know where anyone's from or if you ever seen like mob movies or shit like that. Like if you're the leader of an organization, they got you like that, and this is like, they treat these people like shit, right? These aren't like, you can't just hire lawyers and get the fuck out of that situation, right?
No.
Jerry Adams can't do that. So I was wondering why these people weren't like, yo, how the fuck did you just get out like that? Yeah, how'd you get out of jail like that, man?
Nobody really wondered that.
Then he ends up going to this parliament shit and, leaving, what's his name? What did he call him? The Dark or some shit? the dude, the mustache dude. That dude looked confused. He's like, yo, what are you doing, Jerry? Like, yeah, Jerry fucking turned on your ass, bro. Which is why they had to write that disclaimer at the end of every episode. But yeah, the main focus was the girl. They showed a bunch of all these characters, right? And what they were going through in the show, right? Once again, a documentary will serve you better, but what they did in the show, they have all these characters doing things, but the Dulles girl and her sister, is it Marianne?
And then if you see, but also if you see the two sisters, and then you see the dude with the mustache and Jerry, you see two of them never really break with the sentiment that they had to start with, which is the sister and the guy with the mustache.
Yeah.
And then you see, that's what I was trying to say. Then you see, obviously for different reasons, but Jerry and the late Dulles is like drinking her sorrows away almost. Like she's wearing that guilt or that might not even be guilt, might just be like what she went through.
I think it's guilt because she sees the guys that she drove to go die in the fields and shit.
Yeah, you're right.
She starts seeing them around her, and she's just like, "Oh fuck, wreckage."
And then and it's like, oh, he's a traitor, but it's like by the same token, so is Jerry, and he's not treated that way at all.
Oh no, she wasn't seen as a traitor. I don't think.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, as you watching it as an independent observer, you were like, yo, what Jerry did might be worse than what that guy did.
Worse than what guy did? What are you talking about?
The ball guy that she got killed.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. As far as even the way the show portrayed it, like, yeah. I mean, the bald guy died because he was like jealous about like he was like in love and he did some stupid shit out of it.
He didn't even I mean, what he did was wrong, no doubt. It was not a good thing, but based on the show's logic, what Jerry did was way worse. Way worse.
Yes, by a lot. Jerry did his actual betrayal. What the bald guy did was like his own personal shit.
Jerry affected the entire group.
Yeah. Exactly.
He turned his back on them for clout, basically. Clout, position, salary.
But hey, technically, Jerry was never in the IRA. He was never in it, apparently.
He was never in the IRA. It's just a figment of our imagination.
That's when the mustache guy got pissed off. He was in jail, bro, watching it on TV. Like, yo, Jerry's on TV. Let's watch it. And he's like, I've never been a member of the IRA. And he's like, what? This is your chance on national TV to tell people like what's going on over here. And Jerry's like, no, I don't even know those guys. Who are those guys? Who are you talking about?
Yeah, I've never met these guys.
I don't know them. Never seen them. Where you coming and where you going? But yeah, it shows some based on true story events of a bombing in London that that Dulles and Marianne, her sister, get locked up for. And then they go on the hunger strike and all that shit. They end up getting I think they get pardoned, right? Or they have their sentence commuted or something like that.
First they got transferred back to Ireland or Scotland. I don't know where the fuck they're from. One of those two, Scotland or Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Okay, they got that's what they were asking for. That's why they went on hunger strike. They wanted to be sent back to the prison of their native land.
They want to be judged
And
by their own
then-
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got their shit commuted. I don't even remember why.
I think they made such a big noise out of it in the press that they're just like,
Yeah.
fuck it, just let him go, whatever. And we got the Jerry guy anyways. He'll fucking keep things calm. And these fuckers, no more warring from them. But yeah, like there could be some weird political shit in this thing, but I don't know enough about, you know, the IRA, the Catholics and Protestants and all that shit, bro. The Prods, I don't know enough about it to be like, this show's bullshit me in any direction, which is why documentaries always serve you better, even though they can still put messaging in documentaries. But I would assume that's better to where you can like really look things up instead of just relying on dramatizations. Right, but overall, as a show, I enjoyed it. There was no real like tacky, cringy, you know, moments in here. I think it was just well done, from acting to cinematography to all of it. I thought it was just well done overall. I'm sure, obviously, nothing's perfect. There's going to be moments where it's like, okay, that's kind of weird or trash or whatever. But for the most part, they kind of go unnoticed somewhat. So I appreciate, at least at the very least, I got an A to B plot that made sense. There wasn't so many tacky moments. The acting was on point. I liked it. I enjoyed I watched it all the way through, man. No big complaints. Oh, well, there's one complaint I had, or one of the big complaints for me, which is what I look for in everything. But granted, this is supposed to be based on real life. I always want those quiet threads of narrative that's telling a deeper story than just the IRA versus, you know, Britain, or the Catholics versus the Protestants, or whatever. I want like a deeper thread to it all to add meaning, even if it's, you know, once again, a dramatization. You can add those subtle hints of meaning that makes the movie pop, that makes it like I'm learning something, even though I didn't live in that time period. I didn't live in that part of the world. I don't even know the history of it too well, but I can walk away with saying, like, learn something about regret, doubt, guilt, sadness, happiness. I can learn something about those things that all humans share, unless you're a psycho and you're unless you're Candace Owens, you know, you can't get those experiences. But I want those threads in there that like really tie me. You can't just, for me, I understand people are going to say like, oh no, it's in there, you can see it. When you know, the bomb goes off, she has a sad face on, she has a sad look on her face. Like, that's not what I mean. Because any actor can just pull out, start crying or whatever the fuck, and be like, oh, it's a sad moment, she's crying. I mean, really, the exploration of what that is, and then put it in the context with the story you write. I want that thread in any work of art I watch. I don't care what it is, I want that thread. That is the separation between okay or even good to greatness. It's a major thing for me, at least. And if I had to guess, by watching reactions from different audiences and all that shit, that's a separation for them too. They may not realize that's the reason. They may not get a hint of that phantom thread. Shout out to that movie, Phantom Thread. They may not recognize it, like, consciously, but when a movie's like that good, they'll be like, this movie's really good. I maybe can't explain why, but there's something really good about this movie. And they know that. They know there's a difference between The Dark Knight and Iron Man. There's a clear separation of quality there. And they know it. It's not just plot. It's like you're hearing motive so fast, or hearing that quiet little thread. You're hearing it so loudly that you don't notice it, but you notice it. If they took that thread out, you'd be like, what happened to this movie? Like, where'd it go? Where's the greatness of this movie? Why do I used to like it so much, but now it's not there. That thread goes away. Like, seriously, that's the thing. I'd love to look for that in films and in TV or whatever. I saw it in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I saw that thread, and they played it all the way out through the entire show, and it worked out magically. This show does not have that. But they focus more on the historical characters and all that shit, and about this woman's life and all that shit. I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't be mad at that either. It's just like what separates it from good to great is that thread, and you'll probably hear if you watch our reviews, you'll probably hear me bring that up many a times about that quiet little thread, that quiet little subtext that makes that one little ingredient in that food that you don't like. Man, what is that? That fucking makes it taste like so much better, but I don't really know what it is. It's just something there, right? You like if that ingredient wasn't there, you'd notice it when you eat the food. You're like, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Put that ingredient back in, like, wow, that shit was amazing. What is that? Chef's secret, right? There'll be something there, that quiet little thing. And the show, to me, didn't have it. Maybe I missed it. But for me, with that thing I'm trying to describe, I didn't see it there. But it's still a good show. It's still a very good show. And I 100% recommend this show. 100%. Very, like, they do some subtle touches here that I think is awesome. And once again, the plot, there's no fucking sharp, tacky spots throughout the fucking plot anywhere. It's like a pretty smooth ride. So I appreciate that shit. I appreciate good filmmaking. So, yeah. The show, 100% recommend. Grade? I'm going to give this, I think it's 7.7 out of 10. 7.7 out of 10. It's good. It is good. Once again, if they add that thread in there, that little subtle fucking extra ingredient, it'd be in the 8s probably. I think the cinematics, the acting, the pacing, the carrying me along with the story was so well done that I'm like, damn. If I had that element, bro, it'd be like greatness to me. But there you go. 7.7 out of 10. Highly recommend. I'm Google Foods. I highly recommend. Now let's do it. This Brazilian ass motherfucker. What do you got, Anthony? I don't know how much of the show you caught, but you watched all of it?
I watched most of it. I don't think I got the end of it, but I watched most of it, yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts you want to say?
No, I mean, yeah, it's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but yeah, it's a very engaging movie. Like they put a lot of good threads in it. They like I said, they flesh out the backstory.
Yeah.
And try to give you like the entire picture as well as they can, I guess.
Hopefully. Once again, I don't think you're not an expert on fucking Irish English relationships, right? So they could be bullshit.
Story,
I don't know.
We don't obviously. You gotta suspend disbelief a little bit, but they told the story, and as far as what they said, it made sense to me.
Fair enough.
Like you said before, like it doesn't matter. Like you can change things around. It's just, are you telling a good story? Isn't that more important than? I mean, I'm barring like big fucking like differences. Barring that.
The
trying to tell a story.
The inspiration for this movie was the January 6th riots. They inspired us to make this show, and like they add that at the end.
That's
Like, what?
Big change.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a big change. That's a colossal change.
Like, wasn't that a real woman who died, bro? You're fucking fuck her story up, mangle it into your own modern politics. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a solid show, man. Solid. A breath of fresh air. Let's be real. We've been watching fucking
A lot of shit.
The Fountain, Mother, The Prestige. We've been watching greatness lately, so it's like a breath of fresh air for new content. But overall, in the history of it all, like you gotta do better.
It's gotta take a backseat to a lot of things.
But that's not to be insulting. It's just
No,
they did a very good job.
A bar was set.
Yeah.
And now that bar needs to be replenished. Pause.
I agree. And pause as well. Alright. There's your review for, I think it was FX TV show. Say Nothing. I'm not doing orange, fuck it.